You hiked the price by $500 when the average Orange County senior only has $528 left in their bank account after they've paid their basic monthly expenses.
During a House Oversight Committee hearing on hyperinflated drug costs, Democratic Congresswoman Katie Porter completely exposed a pharma CEO to his face for the crook that he is. So, as you're going to see, this is going to be Mark Ellis, the former CEO of pharmaceutical company Celgene. Now, before I get to the clip, and I actually have two clips to show you. Before I get there, let me give you just a little baseline here. So Celgene launched Revlimid, which is a pharma drug, in 2005 at a price of $215 per pill. After more than 20 price hikes, the drug now costs $763 per pill, or $16,023 per month. And the committee concluded that those years of price hikes didn't depend on research and development investment or rebate pressure. So, knowing that, let me show you the first clip here. Katie Porter does a fantastic job.
Were there fewer side effects? How did you change the formula or production of Revlimid to justify this price increase?
The indication changes are for subsets of different patients with disease.
Reclaiming my time, Mr. Ellis, I understand that. What I'm trying to understand from you is how did the drug improve? If I were to look at a pill and analyze it from 2005 when it cost $215 and I was looked today at when it cost $763, would that pill be the same?
I understand your question about the pill. The manufacturing for it would be the same.
Great, thank you. So to put that in perspective, you hiked the price by $500 when the average Orange County senior only has $528 left in their bank account after they've paid their basic monthly expenses. The average Orange County senior can't even afford one pill. And you said recently that nobody pays the list price, but that is not correct. Do uninsured patients sometimes pay the list price?
I can imagine there are circumstances where underinsured or uninsured patients would be paying close to or at the list price. I don't know of any specific circumstances, but I would guess
my
that
time,
they do
Mr. Ellis.
exist.
Okay, that's just the beginning. Wait for the next clip. Before I get to that, though, I want to give you some more information here. So, among other findings of the Celgene probe, the committee found that the company's executive payment system incentivizes price hikes and that the company targeted the U.S. for high prices because the federal government is prohibited from negotiating prices. So this is something that Bernie Sanders, and actually, to be fair, Joe Biden as well, have been trying to fight for. The ability to negotiate down drug prices. Because when you take a look at the cost, let's take insulin as one example, as that is one that is often referenced. The cost of insulin in the U.S. is 10 times that of Canada. And it is the exact same insulin. The only difference is that the U.S. cannot negotiate down the price. Big Pharma controls the price. And here are some examples of that. So 3 in 10 Americans already were rationing their medicine due to cost before the pandemic, or according to a recent poll. Despite that, Big Pharma has dramatically increased the list price of medicines over the past several years. For example, between 2016 and 2018, AbbVie increased the price of Humira, the highest grossing medicine in the world, by 19.1%. Pfizer increased the price of Lyrica, I don't know these names, so in case this is pronounced wrong, I'm sorry. An epilepsy treatment by 28.3%, and Johnson & Johnson increased the price of Imbruvica used in cancer treatment by 19%. Massive increases here that Americans are paying for, despite the fact that Americans also, their taxpayer money is being invested into developing these drugs to begin with. And then these private companies take that drug, and they're the ones that make the profit and gouge the American people on it. Big Pharma typically announces medicine price increases twice a year, in January and July. In January, corporations raised the prices of 524 medicines. Now, knowing all this, let me get to this next clip where Katie Porter goes after how much the CEO made.
I want to turn to one other number, if you would help me. Do you know what this number is?
I
Does it ring any
don't,
bells?
But I think you're referring to my compensation in some way.
Yeah, well, in some way. This was your compensation in 2017 for being CEO of Celgene, and that's a lot of money. It's 200 times the average American's income and 360 times what the average senior gets on Social Security. Now, of that 13 million, about 2.1 million came from your company hitting yearly earning targets. And more than half of the bonus formula was based on those targets. Any increase in the price of Revlimid would also increase your bonus by increasing earnings. Isn't that right, Mr. Ellis?
If revenues increased and expenses did not, then earnings would be enhanced.
Thank you. Mr. Ellis, in fact, the Oversight Committee found that if you hadn't increased the price of Revlimid, you wouldn't have gotten your bonus. Mr. Ellis, do you know how much you personally received in bonuses over 2 years, the last 2 years, just because Celgene raised the price of this one drug, Revlimid?
I receive very generous compensation, but I don't know the exact number that you're referring to.
In fact, you personally received $500,000 personally just by tripling the price of Revlimid. So to recap here, the drug didn't get any better. The cancer patients didn't get any better. You just got better at making money. You just refined your skills at price gouging. And to be clear, the taxpayers spent $3.3 billion on Revlimid, $3.3 Medicare, $3.3 billion.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable what these people get away with. And by the way, it's all legal. So it's awesome seeing Katie Porter here scold this former CEO personally for the amount of money that he gouged the American people for, the amount of sick people that he gouged, and many more dying because they couldn't afford the medication. It's awesome seeing this, but at the same time, nothing's going to change unless the system changes, unless the rules change. There are always going to be people that are going to take advantage. As long as the law allows them to, they're going to take advantage in any way they can to make as much money as they can. So this man right here, Mark Ellis, is just a symptom of the problem. There are many more just like him. And all these people generally don't care about these sorts of moments, about being scolded. This is not going to deter them from doing this in the future. You have to change the actual system. Also, worth mentioning here, Katie Porter went on to briefly question the CEO of the company that acquired Celgene and asked him, will you commit to lowering the price of this drug to what it should be based on inflation? And he said, no, we can't do that. These people, total crooks. Don't forget how horrible they are, but also keep in mind that nothing changes unless you move to a system where the U.S. can actually negotiate down drug prices the way they do in Canada and the way they do in Europe and other countries.